Merry Christmas, everyone. It's not really cold out there. It's very warm actually, it's like 70s, and there's a bit of rain, but it's it's t-shirt and shorts day. Literally, like it's crazy. Obviously everything's still green. I planted some several vegetables and fruits and stuff like that. Most of them are inside now, but I left this one outside knowing it was going to be warm. That's just a pepper plant. I'm not sure what kind of pepper. One day I just threw different types of seeds, so it looks like a serrano pepper. But yeah. Now let's go into my apartment. Okay, so here we have a plant light, I guess, for plants. This is where some some of my plants that I put inside. This is where they are. This is actually a pear tree, and I'm sorry that you can't see this very well. It's a pear tree. I've had this for about a year and a half now. Yeah, it's not grown much. I mean, usually I've had others. They've grown a lot quicker. This hasn't grown a lot. I guess partly because it's in a plant, or it's in a pot, so yeah. Some attempts. These are elephant ear leaf type of plants. If you look those up, their leaves grow huge, like bigger than a torso, bigger than half your body. And there's actually another one right there that's about to unroll and become an actual leaf. These are some small ones here. God, I'm sorry. The purple, blue, magenta light takes away from all the color, but these are actually a very dark, rich green. Maybe I'll upload a video with them on when the light's not off, or when I put them outside in the spring. Although I could really put that outside now because it's so warm. It's just incredibly warm today, this holiday season. Next up is my fish aquarium. This is a 65-gallon tank. It's made of acrylic. This is not my first one. My first one was back when I was 16. I'm 29, 30 now. Wow, 30 years old. But my first one was back when I was 16, in high school or middle school, and it was a 40-gallon tank made of glass. Had goldfish there as well. I did not know back then that they needed regular water changes. I just figured, hey, if I keep the water looking clean, all I have to do is fill it up each time the water goes down. I never did water changes, and that tank was great. I mean, the first few months, I admit there were a few fish who died, poor things, but I did manage to keep two fish. That they lived for years and years. And then I joined the Navy, and my brother and my sisters, both younger, all younger than me, they kept it, and the fish passed away. But yeah, I'm sad and hurt and all that, but whatever. This is my cat, Jax. Hey, Jax. He answers to his name. I found him and his brother, Remy. Remy's all gray. I found them when they were babies, really babies, and so I took them in and neutered them, and now they're 3 years old now. Yeah, so I got these. I'll show you the other aquarium, but I got these goldfish about a year ago. Yeah, I would say about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, in spring of this year actually. So that would be 10 months or something, whatever. And then I bought In an attempt to try to go back to fish keeping, I bought a 20-gallon glass tank from PetSmart, and I got these fish. Of course, I got the tank first before buying the fish, because we have to make sure that the system is well balanced with the required bacteria, and just to keep the fish from dying um, from their own ammonia toxicity. And yeah, so I did buy the aquarium first. I added water. I added some plants. These plants, I don't know. I'm not a plant keeper. Although I have recently been trying to do better. I've done research and bought some of the required items, like Excel Nourish and iron and phosphate or phosphorus, whatever. Oh no, I'm sorry, potassium, not phosphorus. You don't want phosphorus and phosphate in your aquarium. Very little, if the plants are required to take it in as a nutrient, but otherwise no. So I got these fish in my 20-gallon tank, and then I bought a canister filter, an FX. No, what is it? Discovery. I'll show it to you later. But I got one. One wasn't enough for these 4 fish, and I figured, okay, I'm at the brink of, if not possibly overstocked. So I decided to get another one, and these are like not expensive. These are $200-300 canister filters. So I'm like, okay, nah, whatever. I just don't want. Back when I was 16, my first tank, I had 2 hang on the back type filters. They took away from this openness here. So I'm sticking with canister, or at least outside the tank type of filters. I also looked into sump filters, sump tanks. I don't think I'm ready for that yet, just because it requires figuring out the rate of water leaving the tank and the rate of water coming into the tank, and figuring out what size and power of a water pump to buy, and then it adds a little more work to the hobby, and I don't think I'm ready for that just yet. I know, I'm 95% sure I will do that in the future, just not now. So yeah, and then I bought this tank, obviously, again, a 65-gallon aquarium tank, and it's awesome. I've had a few scratches, but that's me. I like rugged things. I'm very tough with what I have, and that's just because I'm careless and whatever. And then along with this tank, I bought this Flu Ball FX6. Very nice. I gotta say, I love it. It's pretty awesome. Um, Very powerful, very quiet. I took it apart once to get some of this sand, this black sand. It got stuck in there, and why? Normally, it's all good, but see, I have these water jet heads, and so I had those, and then I had the bottom of the filter slanted and touching the bottom of the aquarium, and so I think that did some of the mixing up the dust, dirt, sand. Plus, from time to time, I like to swivel, shake everything up to in order to get rid of whatever is stuck in there. And one time even I found and I saw little worms under the gravel. They started coming up and just wiggling around, flying, swimming around. The fish would eat them. They're harmless to the fish. They're a sign that you're feeding your fish too much water. I'm sorry, too much food. Okay, so here's the other water jet head, and then we gotta have some aeration, of course, to aerate the water, make some oxygen, and all that. I could go into detail, but fine, I will. So the bubbles, they as they pop or explode in the water on the surface, whatever, they there's some exchange of oxygen from the air into the water, and back and forth. Um, Same thing. I mean, even without bubbles, even up here in the surface where there are no bubbles, there is some minimal exchange, but but there are no bubbles. So by adding bubbles, you have more surface area. So what that surface area does, it gives more room, more space for the air exchange to take place. Oxygen, carbon dioxide, whatever. So that's what happens. So that's essential. If you don't want to or can't have bubbles, I highly suggest you get a jet head. I need to know what these things are called. I know, but I forgot. And what these do, they create a not a ripple, but a stream. Therefore, in a way, causing more surface area at the surface of the water. How? It moves the water around. So, for example, um, water from below will go up to the surface at a quicker rate and back down and again and back down and again. And what that does is water it just needs a millisecond um, contact with air in order for that exchange to take place. But with still water, you're not going to have that. You're just going to have whatever water is laying above. With rotating, moving water, it's going to, in essence, have more water be exposed to that surface. All right, now we're moving on to my 20-gallon tank. So this is my 20-gallon tank. What I first got when I restarted fish keeping about a little less than a year ago. This tank has been not with water all the time. First, let's go to the filter. So this is the, wow, you can't see that. This is the National Geographic canister filter, and it's pretty good. I mean, it's good. Sorry, I'm wrapping Christmas stuff for January's Christmas party thing. Anyway, so this filter is very good. I only need one. When I did have the goldfish here when I first got them, I found out that I needed more filtration based on how much I would feed them and the fact that there were 4 goldfish in the 20-gallon tank. That's not a lot, but they grow quickly, and I did my purpose to have the goldfish is to grow them, pay as big as they can get, because I want to have big goldfish. Why? I don't know. It's just, that's my thing. Maybe some of you feel the same way. Just, big, healthy, lively, happy goldfish. So I bought another one of these canister tanks when I found out that these goldfish needed more filtration. And I plugged it in and everything, and it was good. It was good. It was fine. But I found out that the goldfish were, I don't know, they were growing too quick, and I figured, okay, I might need to get another tank because they will quickly outgrow it. And surely they did. Yeah, they would have been pretty unhappy here. So what I did with this tank, when I got the acrylic tank, I put this in storage for literally 2 or 3 days, and then out of nowhere, 2 snakes show up in my bed. No, I'm sorry, 3 snakes show up in my bed. One underneath, one under the pillow, and another one at the feet. Baby garden snakes. So I took this back out, and I put the snakes in there, and I kept them for about a week, and I just couldn't get the snakes to eat, and so I had to let them go. And I put the aquarium back up in storage, and then I'm thinking, okay, You know, I've never had mollies, guppies, platies, and there's one more, um, betas. And these are live bearers. These are all live bearers, and I heard that they breed quickly, that fairly easily, and so I researched on the other ones. These are actually platies. The other kind of fish, they're more intermediate to advanced. They require more attention to water conditions, blah blah blah. And so I figured, okay, these seem to be a little more hardy. I'll get these. So male female. Um, the red ones are male female, and then these mixed ones are male female. And then I also have some Corridora catfish. Three of them. The only three they had. I was gonna get two, but then there were only three in the tank. So in order to keep them all together, three. Um, and I guess in probably a year from now, depending on whether any of these pairs spawn, I'll get a bigger tank. I'll start looking on Craigslist to see if I find anything. But if not, I'll just buy a new one. Acrylic. I would always go for acrylic. Um, Glass is just too heavy. Um, if you notice, there's a very green tint to this. Unlike the other tank, everything was clear. There's a green tint here, and so it almost makes things seem cloudy or just, off somehow. So I really like acrylic. And if you scratch this, that's it. Unless you have it sent to, I mean, it may be more expensive depending on the depth of the scratch, to fix a glass tank than an acrylic tank. With an acrylic tank, you buy a kit and fix it. It's the kit. The kits that I've seen online, there are like 3 bottles. Bottle number 3, you add that. You use a very soft, very fine type of grate, like a sandpaper or something like that they provide. Then you do that with number 2, and the grating, the roughness of that paper or whatever they provide is more fine. And then number 1, and again, a finer, just so fine to the point where you just don't see the scratches anymore, and it just it buffs it all out. That's the word I was looking for, buff. So yeah, so acrylic, go acrylic. And of course this tank also has bubbles. Bubbles are always a plus. And I have some plants there as well. That's fake. That's fake. That's fake. But that's an Anubis. Right there. That's an Anubis, and that is a, god dang it, I forgot. But so that's a slow grower, kind of like a Java fern. This is a quick grower, and so I got them to see how they would do in this environment. They're tester plants. I'm sorry, plants. I hate testing with you, but hey. So we'll see how they grow, see how they fare with algae, or how they fare with no algae, and then we'll go from there. So this is my first tank that is not a goldfish. So technically, this would be a fish that I've never had before. So I'm just kind of testing out. I should have, could have, would have had 2 or 3 less fish here, but I think it's fine. I'm doing weekly to every other day water changes depending on how much I feed and how much poop I see, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, these are my tanks. This is my 20 gallon tank, and I might buy a heater. I'm not sure yet, because I keep my temperature in the apartment a fair constant 70, 75 degrees. They're doing fine. They don't have a heater. I've had them for a few days. So this reminded me. So I've had them for a few days. I bought them the same day that I set up the tank. So how did I do that? Well, I grabbed media from my goldfish tank and I used that media. So my goldfish tank, the FX6, has a lot of space and I have bags of media there. So I grabbed a bag of media and I put that in here. And I grabbed some of the water, actually all the water from, some of the water from my goldfish tank, and filled this one up with that same water. The next day I did a partial water change, 10-20%, just to get rid of the goldfish poop and waste that they had. And then today I did another 10% change, and that's all I'll do for about a week. See how they fare, see how they do, and then I'll do another 20% water change afterwards, depending on, again, how they do. So that's one way to get a, if you want an aquarium right now, get a friend or a family member who will give you the media and, if possible, some of that water, as long as you know that there are no parasites or illnesses there. And that's an instant aquarium. So far, the male platy is chasing the female platy. The black ones are. So they may be spawning. I don't know what the conditions should be, could be, would be. That's why I bought this plastic one and this plastic one. So if they do have any eggs and or fry, no, sorry, they're live bearers, fry, then it's ready for their birth, and we'll see what happens. All right, well, until my next video, thanks people for watching, and I hope I'm not too boring. Please let me know what I need to do different on these videos. I know I can be monotonal and boring, but that's why I'm uploading this, so I can welcome your feedback. So yeah, all right, thanks for watching. Bye.